Hello, welcome. We are going to discuss the gun law, and everybody's going to give their own opinion. Youri, you can start.
Yes, I'm against the gun law, and it's because the gun law makes it normal for people to have a gun in the United States. And I think that because of that reason, you get a lot more conflicts between people and conflicts with guns. Because if those people don't have a gun, it's not easy to do something like a school shooting or stuff. And because they are allowed to have a gun, for them it's easy to begin such kind of a shooting. And I think that is for the country very bad. And yes, that's the reason why I'm against the gun law. It's also not good for the people in the United States because you see that they're accepting it from each other, and they say it's for defense of themselves, but I think that in the end it's only more dangerous for themselves that they all have a gun instead of defensive. So that's my opinion about the gun law.
Well, I don't. Oh, I don't disagree. I disagree because if not everyone has if everyone has a gun, it's very difficult to say as a government from no, everyone should give it back, but because not everyone will give it back.
Yeah. No, that's in the first place because it always takes a lot of years if you are going to say from no one can have a gun. It's always going to take a few years to get it right, to get it done. Yeah, I think you agree with that with me, don't you? Because it's of course nobody, not everyone is going to give their gun back immediately, but you need to make sure that it's being controlled. That you need a license, like in the Netherlands, you can have a gun, but you need a license and you can't have it with you. I think that you must do that, and then you need to make sure that there's going to be some controls that that the police are going to people's houses and check if they have a gun and if they have a license for it. But I don't think that if you leave it this way, you only will get more conflicts.
Let's say you want to take all the guns back,
Yes.
and that will take a few years. Don't you think the people that really want a gun will still get the gun, like just
but,
in an illegal way?
but the problem is the screenings are very poorly in the US because literally
Yes.
anyone can get a gun, even mentally.
Yes, but
Not
let's say then
unstable
you change the screening, make it harder for everyone to get a gun. Just say you have to do several things before you can get a gun license. Rather than just say there are no gun licenses and everybody have to give their gun back. Because there are people who really need a gun or really use a gun just in a regular way and just enjoy having a gun for like hobbies or sports. So I don't think those people should get ripped off their gun.
Yeah, okay, but don't you agree with me that in the United States there are a lot of more gun conflicts with schools and stuff than in other countries?
Yes, that's true.
And that's because they can have a gun. In other countries, it's not normal that everyone has a gun.
But another possibility is to let teachers have a gun.
So enough is again not trained enough, not well trained enough to use them.
Yeah,
you can train the teachers also.
Well, maybe lower the magazines so it's harder to get a mass murder.
I disagree because
I
from the
think-
last
yeah.
shooting, we saw a police officer who was physically trained to handle a gun, and he refused. He couldn't shoot straight at the target. So that goes to show that if he's not able to do it, then how should the teachers be able to do it?
But if you
Yeah,
In
I
stressful
think
situations,
that-
that may not work.
In the first place, I think that at schools it's totally should not be allowed to have any guns. I think that's for sure.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so I don't think, and if you give people the guns, you only increase the chance that people will have guns on schools. So
I can agree with that, but the people that are like doing these mass murders, don't you think if it's illegal to have a gun, it's also illegal to plan a mass murder? So they will get the gun eventually any other
But
way.
what we're saying is, if guns are becoming more mandatory, people will eventually start using them more frequently.
yes,
And if you have a conflict if you're getting violent, then you are much earlier to use a gun instead of something else. So the conflict can escalate very quickly.
yeah.
When in possession.
Precisely, it's easier for them to have a gun, so it's easier to plan something like that. You understand? Because if it's hard to get a gun, it's also harder for the people to plan it, so they might get off it because it's too hard.
So you agree if I I say make it harder to get a gun license, and not everyone can get a gun license. So
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
what do you think about that?
No, yeah, it's a good idea, like it's in the Netherlands, but I don't think it will work because the mental people, they still will be able to get a gun and go to schools.
There's another big issue that I would like to address. Many of the top politicians in Congress, they get financial support from organizations like the NRA, and I think that's truly a disgusting thing, because it goes to show in the last shooting you saw many kids who were openly protesting against that, and you had those politicians that were they weren't really giving their opinions because they were obviously against the shootings, but yet they were financed by the people who make the guns. So I think we should ban the guns just to prevent the politicians to become pro-guns.
That's the whole problem in America. The economy kind of part of the economy is going so good because of guns, because the economy is a big part of it is based on gun industry. So yeah, I think that's another big problem in America, and that's one of the reasons why they won't shut the gun.
It's usually the Republican politicians who are in control of the gun associations, and I think that's as a person listening to that, I think that's pretty disgusting, because everyone should have an opinion, but it's just very weird to have a organization being in control. Yeah. Well, indirectly in control over a politician.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of a normal problem in America itself, because.
But do you agree with me? Or?
Yeah, I agree with you. But every part of the Congress is financed by some kind of company. You agree that with? Yeah. And because they have to fight for that company, so you always will get those problems there, because the people who are in the Congress, they always they're not really there for the people, but they're more for themselves and for the company who put the money in them. Yeah, who gives them the money to, who finances them and their campaign. So I think that
I get that. But the gun issue is a very large issue in the US, and I get what you're saying. But I think that they should be more. They should take responsibility in the way that they should be more tougher on the gun restrictions.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think that in the first place they just would.
They don't want to lose their financial support.
I know, but I think in the first place in America they should say the campaigns are not being financed with money from companies, and then that problem is already off the table. So you don't have the whole problem anymore with the for against guns because of the money they get from other companies. So I think that's the thing you should do first to get rid of that.
But as somebody who wants to start a campaign, getting money any way they can, they'll accept it anyway. So if it's from a hospital who finds them, it's from a company selling drugs who finds them, they don't really care if they just get enough money so they can win that campaign.
Exactly, and that's why they should say we're going to quit it, and it isn't allowed anymore to get money from companies to finance campaigns, I think.
Another thing I would like to address is a lot of pro-gun people. They say that the Second Amendment allows any citizen to protect himself against a government or any foreign government. But I think it's very misinterpreted, because it mainly applies for the militias and the people who are very qualified to use a gun, like army staff. And a lot of people think that if they have not a single bit of experience, that they can use and automatically are protected from that law. And that's a misconception that a lot of people have.
I also agree.
Yeah, and I think
I don't really get that, but they're saying that, they're using that as an argument, but that's not really true.
I think that in the time we're living in, it's not really relevant, at least in America, okay, and in countries like in Europe, because you mainly get this kind of things, this kind of revolutions, I think you can call it. If you get it, it's more like a revolution. You get it when you have a dictator in the country, and in
I agree
America
with you.
it's very hard to get that done because you got all kind of rules.
Again,
laws,
but this is an argument that a lot of
Yeah.
pro-gun people are saying.
Yeah, exactly.
to
but
sort
I
of-
think that this argument is no,
Valid,
it's not.
yeah.
It's not really a good argument for people living in America because I think you will never really get that problem because it's not of this time.
Well, there's just a big difference if you're an ex-army or an ex-FBI agent with a gun, or just some random guy watching some series and thinks he can handle a gun. So
Yeah.
that's a big difference between that. So I
I
think
agree.
if you're ex-military, you're able to, you're allowed to have a gun, since you know how to use it. But
Yes.
if you never used a gun properly, I don't think you should just.
Yeah,
be
it's
able
dangerous
to
because you can
have
also
a gun.
hurt other people or yourself who you don't want to hurt because you're not able to use the gun right.
Yes, that's true.
But
They can
I
probably
think that also if ex-military or ex-FBI, they also should not have a gun if nobody should have if nobody is allowed to have a gun.
No,
So
I agree.
they,
That's true.
yeah, but because why them, but why not me? You know?
Yes, that's true. That's why I'm also saying we shouldn't get rid of the gun law, because it really protects people. We only talk about the times something bad happens.
You know,
Also
in
have-
what way does it protect the people?
You can you make them afraid without shooting. If they just come in with a ski mask and want them to give you everything you have, like all your cash, and you just point with a gun to them, and they get afraid, they run away.
Yeah, but mostly that's not really how it works because when it happened, the people who are coming in to rob them, they will also have a gun because they're allowed to have a gun. So if they have a gun and you're going to point another gun at them, they're going to shoot maybe. So it's only more dangerous.
I think the problem is what he's saying. If you are committing a robbery on a bank, you are virtually always armed, heavily armed. So you're not going in there with a knife. So the people who are most likely to want to use a gun, they're going to get it anyway, even if it's on the black market.
Yes.
But if you ban the guns for the general people, they will most likely, they won't use any guns for smaller crimes, like robbing a store or something. Then those people are most likely to not use them. So that's a big argument. The big criminals, they're always going to use guns, but the smaller ones, the larger majority, is we can prevent that by restricting the gun.
But you know, a lot of fake guns, like a BB gun,
Yeah.
they just look like real guns. So how could I tell if it's a real gun or not? So having a legal gun or an illegal BB gun, which is easier, you can just order them online, which just look like a regular gun. You can you can rob a bank even.
Yeah, you can, but the moment you do that, you will call the police. And you know, the problem is that if you go to rob a bank or rob something, just like I just said, if you're going to, if you're behind the desk, you know, you're a worker there, and you're going to get a gun and point it at them, you're going to be shot. So you
Yes.
only get more people hurt because they will use their guns, and both parties are going to be scared, and one of them is going to use their guns.
Situation will
How
escalate
do you
rapidly.
know someone is going to use their gun?
A lot of
Because-
people just are afraid to use
Yes,
it.
Yeah.
no, because the moment that a robber is
No, you can't say that because you didn't study that.
Yeah.
no, but
you didn't play
it's
ever.
logical. No, but it's logical. It's not
No,
going
it's
to
not
be
logical.
Yeah, because if they see that you're using a gun, they're going to be scared, so they want to use their gun at you.
But
Yeah,
maybe they
but
just
that's
try
logical.
to
You-
shoot.
If you have a security guard there, their job is to protect the people in a bank, for instance.
Yes.
So they're legally qualified. They have to shoot someone in order to protect the civilians. So if someone comes in with a machine gun, they are legally qualified. They have to shoot this guy in order to protect all the other civilians. And if you start doing that, the situation will only escalate, and you get a
Yeah.
shootout in whatever you're in.
But people are able to protect themselves and don't have to wait for the police.
But how can you expect anyone to defend themselves? You can't.
If you have a gun and you shoot at him because he's a robber, you can shoot him and you're safe, right?
Yeah, but no, it's just like we just talked about. Those people are not good in handling the gun because they're not trained to do it.
So anyone, according to you, can
So-
handle a gun and can shoot.
That's
I
what you
think
say.
if you have a gun, you probably have tried shooting one wants.
But you have to remember, if you're in a stressful situation where
Yes,
tensions are
yeah,
very high
yes.
up, you're gonna shake and you're gonna misfire something, and
That's
you're
right.
going to get worse. Right?
So-
I disagree with that.
And you miss, and the robbers are going to shoot, and you only get a bigger
Shootout, yeah.
So let's just say you want a gun. You never used a gun. Make it hard to get a license. You need to go to practice in different situations before you can get a real license.
Yeah.
So you know how to handle in those situations before you can really use a gun and really have a gun. So that would fix like a lot of problems we discussed.
Yeah, I think that will solve a lot of problems because you can. I don't think it's good that people who are not who can't handle, who are not capable to handle a gun should have a gun because it's always going to get messy.
Yes, and if you really want to have a gun, you should just get a real license with real training.
Exactly.
So you know how to use a gun properly.
Yes, exactly. That's what
I agree.
That's what I think. Well, what do you think
Do you
about
agree
it?
with this solution?
Yeah,
or-
I agree with that.
So
Agree
that's
to that?
But
Stricter
another-
screenings and proper training.
yes, and if you just add training, you need to do it again every, let's say, 3 to 5 years. Just
I think that would be good because in that case you can control the people who have a gun and make sure that they'll
also
still be able
you
to
know
have a
what
gun.
people are.
It's a bit the same like all people who are with a driving license. They should
Yes.
come I think at 70 they have to come back and show if they are still capable of driving. But driving is something you do regularly. The gun you don't use all day. So I think it should be like every 3 years.
In
Yes.
3 years you do it again and
Get
you
back.
get
yeah.
another license.
What I also agree to is, if you want to control the sales of guns, I think you should also control the aftermarket sales of guns. Because now you can go to eBay or any public online website and you can buy a gun legally. And I think secondhand. And I think you should definitely put a ban on that, or else,
I agree with that. I think you should ban the gun. I think maybe the government should make sure that you're only allowed to buy guns,
brand new.
purchase guns. No, not totally brand new, but at certain kind of organizations which are approved to buy them. So you make sure that there are 3 or 4 organizations who are approved, and that you only can get them. They only are able to get a gun legally.
Licensed companies.
If you're at those shops, and if someone buys a gun, they should show their license if he's allowed to get a gun.
And it's important to not only do a physical test, but also
Mental, psychological
yes,
test.
yes.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's also.
Because show with all the school shootouts.
Yes.
Those were all guys who are very mentally unstable.
Yeah, I think you should really test that too if you're allowing people to get a gun.
So
Yeah.
we all agree with keeping the gun law, but under restricted rules like a license and
The screening check.
Every 3 years a license.
recheck at least if you have a license, if you're still capable of handling the gun.
I agree.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.